So as one year slips by and another approaches, full of hope, anticipation of what lies ahead, I thought I'd look back at some events that brought a smile to my face, some that I enjoyed. There were many in the year. I thought I'd pick five. These are not necessarily the biggest moments of the year, not the finest achievements of the year, but things that I enjoyed watching. And it's a list that could be different from yours. I always say go ahead and make your own list, but do it because we all watch cricket because we enjoy it. So these were five things that I came up with. We'll start with two young players. Life hadn't dealt them great cards. They had to fight their way through. Times they would have wondered why they're doing it. At times they must have thought, will I ever make it? And then in different ways, the two of them captured our attention. First was Rinku Singh. I'd seen Rinku Singh around for a while, Aligarh Ka Badshah. Then he hit those 5 sixes in the last over. It's not a moment the bowler will remember. But that's how the game is. Somebody wins, somebody loses. But Rinku Singh suddenly said, you know what, I can play. Come look at me. Here's a player who's tried so hard over the years, had to make the most of every chance that he got. And the coming of age of Rinku Singh, then making it into the Indian team, carrying that form over there. It was one of the most beautiful stories of 2023, as indeed was Yashasvi Jaiswal. Look at all that he's gone through. And then to go and make 100 on debut in the West Indies, 171. There was an innings in a T20 international. He got out in the 50s, but that was inside the power play. I just enjoyed watching Yashasvi Jaiswal play. And I hope in 2024, they're able to keep their feet on the ground and play with the same intensity. But yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. Another, not as much for the greatness of the person who achieved it as for that little moment and something that he did over there. Virat Kohli got to 50 one-day international hundreds. 50, it's a huge number. Everybody was waiting for it. He got the 100. But I think what would have pleased him a great deal was the fact that Tendulkar was in the audience. And you know how he absolutely adores and looks up to Tendulkar. I was on air when that happened. And I don't know, I just had an instinct that that is what he would do. And there he was, looking up to Tendulkar, acknowledging his role and bowing there. To me, that one gesture said so much, as if to say, look, in my biggest moments, I'm remembering you. I've been a big Tendulkar admirer. I've been a big Kohli fan over the years. I just thought there was something very heartwarming about Kohli doing that with Tendulkar around. So that was my second moment of the year. I absolutely loved the way India played at the ODI World Cup. There's a lot of people who were filled with disappointment with India lost. Of course you'll be disappointed. They haven't yet got over it. But I would hate it if that allowed you to mask the fact that India played the kind of one-day cricket we have never seen. All of us. We've never seen India play with that freedom. India dominate every other team like that. One game away from dominating a tournament like Australia did that 2007 World Cup. I meet my friends from Australia and I said, what a boring World Cup you made it. There was only one team playing. India were one game away from making it only one team playing at that World Cup. And sometimes you don't get the end you need, but that doesn't take away from what you put in. In the manner in which India played the World Cup, I hope India continue to play like that. And it was heartwarming. As I said, you'll hear this word coming up quite often, heartwarming, but it was exactly that for me. Did you see the innings Glenn Maxwell played against Afghanistan? 201, 144 of those in boundaries at a time when he could not run between wickets. And when he did to keep strike, he was literally hobbling, and he said, how long can he do it? He could not reach out to balls. Luckily for him, Afghanistan bowled closer to his body. But he gave a magnificent demonstration of what quick hands can do in this game, especially if you have no footwork. But I like the innings even more for the fact that he believed he could get there. And with about 70-80 to get, Afghanistan had had almost resigned themselves to the inevitable. That was the awe that he inspired in the opposition side. I don't know if I will get to see an innings like that ever again. Someone will score 200, someone will hit 140 runs in boundaries, but all the drama that accompanied it was very special indeed. Then there was the WPL. What a story. So many players in India suddenly discovering their dream could come true. Not yet playing for India maybe, but playing on the big stage. The WPL in its very first year threw up so many opportunities. And there were some people who just attracted the attention towards themselves in a manner that otherwise they would not have got the opportunity to. There was Shreyanka Patil, there's Kanika Ahuja, there's Minnu Mani, Asha Shobna, 32-year-old leg spinner from Kerala, and suddenly gets a stage to show how good she can be. There were so many stories like that in the WPL, and as it grows there will be many, many more. And I hope young girls all over India will look up to the WPL and say, I want to play cricket too, I can be in the limelight too. And we get many beautiful stories like that. Many, I'll use the word again, heartwarming stories. I absolutely enjoyed what I saw at the WPL. There's one other. I followed Netherlands a lot at this year's World Cup. I was at home, I was not actually watching it, and I was on Cricbuzz following the progress of the West Indies-Netherlands game. Puran gets 100, they make 370, they're not getting there. Then Teja Niramanuru, he goes and gets 100. Logan van Beek hits 28 of 14, takes them to a super over, then he hits 30. 30 of Jason Holder in a super over. It just kept coming up on the Cricbuzz commentary, and he said 6, 4, 6. And I thought, wow, something is happening here. And then for them to beat the West Indies, qualify, and then play some wonderful innings. They then had to play a game against Scotland. Buzz de Leader scored a century. I enjoyed watching Buzz de Leader, Logan van Beek, Teja Nidamanuru. I thought Scott Edwards was one of the best keepers at the World Cup too. And I loved the way in which the associates came together. And there was a lot more cricket as well, by the way. The Philippines and Cambodia toured Indonesia. Luxembourg, Serbia and Estonia toured Gibraltar. And there was a Budapest Cup. Isn't this wonderful for the spread of our game? Major League Cricket in the United States. There's going to be a World Cup there in 2024. Major League Cricket Season 2. Our game is going wider and wider. I know expats are playing in some places, but that is always the beginning, and I was overjoyed by what was happening with the associates and other countries, because our game must spread. So there you are. Those were the slightly more tender moments in 2023. I hope we get many more of those, because eventually cricket is a play of emotions, isn't it? And I hope we get lots more of that, as I said, in 24.